King Tutankhamun, the enigmatic pharaoh whose name echoes through the records of all historians. He ruled ancient Egypt in Golden Age, leaving behind a rich legacy still celebrated today. Yet his untimely demise has been a puzzle for centuries. Various theories have been proposed. Some believe he succumbed to a disease, others conjecture a political conspiracy or homicide. Modern scientific inquiries, despite their advances, have not yet definitively determined the cause of his death. This unsolved mystery continues to attract scholars and enthusiasts, keeping the intrigue of ancient Egypt alive. Join us on a journey into the legacy of King Tut. We will dive through all the ideas about how he might have died. King Tutankhamun, or King Tut as he is known, was born approximately in 1341 BCE. He was part of the 18th Egyptian dynasty, ascending to the throne after his father, King Akhenaten. His reign began in 1332 BCE. At the tender age of 9, him the boy king of one of history's most impressive civilizations. After a reign of 9 years, King Tut passed away in 1323 BCE, marking a tragic end to a young life. His death was marked by a royal funeral, and he was interred in his regal tomb in Thebes' Valley of the Kings. His resting place remained undisturbed for more than 3 millennia until it was the year 1922. After 3,245 years, British archaeologist and Egyptologist HowardCarter revealed the veil of this king's tomb in 1922, leaving us captivated by his legacy, yet confounded by his demise. The cause of King Tut's death has sparked extensive speculation and debates throughout history. Various theories have surfaced over time, each bringing a unique perspective to the unsolved mystery. One hypothesis suggests that genetic disorders are a possible cause. This is supported by DNA tests performed in 2010, which revealed evidence of recurring malaria infections and a clubfoot. King Tut also suffered from a rare bone disorder called Kohler's disease. This could account for the damage noticed in his foot, and Egyptologists speculate that these genetic issues could be a result of inbreeding, a common practice within the royal family. It's believed that marriages between close relatives were frequent among Egyptian royalty, leading to speculation that Tutankhamun's mother could have been one of Akhenaten's sisters, often referred to as the younger lady. However, there is limited concrete evidence substantiating this notion. Some propose that King Tut's mother was Queen Nefertiti, Akhenaten's half-sister, while others speculate that the younger lady might have been an unidentified sister of Akhenaten. Another theory suggests that his death was a result of complications stemming from a fractured bone. This speculation is backed by considerable proof uncovered by researchers, including signs of a grave physical trauma inflicted upon his lower extremity. Scientific analysis showed remnants of embalming substances lodged within the injury, giving rise to conjectures that the adolescent ruler might have endured a perilous mishap not long before his sudden demise. This hypothesis has garnered the support of a notable faction within the Egyptology community whose studies and interpretations of ancient Egyptian history and culture. The proposal's most fervent endorser is the distinguished Zahi Hawass, a leading authority in Egyptology. He postulates that the young pharaoh, King Tut, possibly met with an unfortunate accident, falling off his chariot during a routine expedition across the arid expanses of the Egyptian desert. Fallen from his chariot? In Search Answers, we turn to a theory suggesting a sinister end, murder. This proposition is supported by an intriguing piece of evidence uncovered during a 1960s radiographic examination, a hole in the back of King Tut's skull. Moreover, the absence of his mummy's entire chest front, including heart, sparked conjecture of a fatal injury, a crushing blow perhaps. Speculation rife with potential suspects. His minister and successor, Horemheb, the army's commander-in-chief, and his spouse, Ankhesenamun. Each with the means. But could it be more than individual ambitions? Could there be a conspiracy at play? A collusion of interests? A symphony of subterfuge? An alliance of the three working in the shadows, orchestrating a fatal blow to the young pharaoh. An orchestrated coup veiled in enigma and deception. This pharaoh was not one of the great Egyptian pharaohs. He was neither comparable to Thutmose III, the ruler of an Egyptian empire that spanned the ancient world, nor to Ramses II. With his greatness, wars, and long and extensive reign, when Tutankhamun, whose name in ancient Egyptian means the living image of the god Amun, ascended to the throne, he was not yet 9 years old. When he passed away, he was about 18 years old, meaning he only sat on Egypt's throne for a few short, largely mysterious years. Tutankhamun lived during a transitional period in ancient Egyptian history following his father Akhenaten, who had attempted to unify the ancient Egyptian gods into the form of a single god. During his reign, there was a return to the worship of the many ancient Egyptian gods. In this regard, the contemporary Egyptian philosopher Dr. Murad Wahba informs us that Akhenaten's religious orientations led the priests of the old gods to conspire against him along with soldiers who were angry about being removed from their positions. When Akhenaten died, the priests of Amun became powerful enough to force the new king to leave Tel El Amarna and go to Thebes, where they compelled him to change his name by removing Aten and replacing it with Amun. Thus, he became Tutankhamun. This marked the return of the worship of the great god Amun along with the other gods, causing Akhenaten's monotheistic beliefs to disappear. Tutankhamun married his half-sister Ankhesenamun. Her name initially meant "she lives through Amun," and she was the sister of Tutankhamun through their father Akhenaten and their mother Nefertiti. Such marriages between siblings were not unusual in ancient Egyptian kingdoms. Why is there suspicion surrounding Ankhesenamun? It is likely due to her quick marriage to his vizier Ai, which has fueled doubts about her. Notably, a pharaonic seal bearing both the names of E and Ankhesenamun was found, suggesting there might have been a relationship between them that strengthened the idea of Tutankhamun's removal, especially since she was about 4 or 5 years older than him. Furthermore, allegations of betrayal to the nation have reinforced suspicions about Ankhesenamun's role in her husband's death. Among ancient Egyptian documents, a letter was found that she sent to the king of the Hittites in what is now Mesopotamia, who were enemies of Egypt at the time. What did the letter contain? It included a direct request for him to send one of his sons to marry her and become the king of Egypt. The question that leads historians to believe she might have been involved in Tutankhamun's murder is whether this letter was sent during Tutankhamun's life or after his death. The letter indicates that she wrote it during her husband's lifetime, as she mentions that her marriage to his son would occur after the death of her husband Tutankhamun. This opens the door widely to accept the idea of a conspiracy on her part, involving figures like the vizier Ai, and not excluding the army commander Horemheb and possibly other unknown parties. As for the rest of the story of this wife's betrayal, the Hittite king did indeed send one of his sons to marry her, equipping him with an entourage laden with gifts fit for the Queen of Egypt, along with a guard detachment to protect him and secure the route. However, the Hittite king's hopes of ruling Egypt were dashed when he received the news of his son's murder, along with his entourage, before they even reached Egypt's eastern borders. It was reported that the one who killed his son was the Egyptian commander Horemheb, at the behest of the elderly vizier Ai, who would later become the king of Egypt. Among the perplexing questions is what happened to the body of Tutankhamun's wife and where it went. Was there indeed someone who tried to conceal her history as if to cover up her most infamous crime, her involvement in her husband's murder? It is established that for a very long period, about 3,000 years, Tutankhamun's wife remained a mystery after disappearing from records between 1325 BCE and 1321 BCE. However, in 2010, experts came close to solving the mystery once and for all, thanks to DNA tests conducted on mummies found in the Valley of the Kings. It was revealed that one of the bodies was the mother of the twins found in Tutankhamun's tomb, suggesting that she was Ankhesenamun. A prevalent theory suggests that Tutankhamun was killed by his army commander, Horemheb, who is considered the last pharaoh of the 18th Egyptian dynasty. Before becoming pharaoh, Horemheb was the supreme commander of the Egyptian army during Tutankhamun's reign. After ascending to the throne, he reformed many aspects of the state. During his reign, official actions began against the former rulers of Amarna, the hometown of Akhenaten. As a result, he is considered the ruler who restored stability to his country after a turbulent and harsh period. Horemheb demolished Akhenaten's monuments and repurposed the ruins for his own construction projects. He also usurped the monuments of Tutankhamun and his close advisor, Ai, who had succeeded Tutankhamun on the throne. In a recent study, fingers were pointed at the military commander Horemheb for assassinating King Tutankhamun in his sleep, supported by events and evidence. This study states that Horemheb was the only one who benefited from the disappearance of the entire Atenist family, as he began erasing the religion of Aten and Akhenaten. Can we deduce from this that the religious orientations in ancient Egypt and the conflict between the priests and followers of Amun, who were the vast majority in the country, and the followers of Aten, who did not last long in Egypt, were the main reason for Tutankhamun's murder by his Ammonite army commander Horemheb? The study suggests that King Tutankhamun was forced to abandon Akhenaten's religion against his will, and that the powerful military man, Horemheb, who imposed his promotion to commander-in-chief of the army, a royal position, compelled him to do so. But what other reason might drive Horemheb to kill Tutankhamun if he was indeed the killer? There is certainly a political reason. Akhenaten's policies had caused Egypt to lose the empire founded by Thutmose I and Thutmose III. Therefore, Horemheb might have thought of removing the young pharaoh and ascending the throne himself to restore Egypt's strong imperial era. Those familiar with the biography of Commander Horemheb will find that after Tutankhamun's death, he implemented a series of comprehensive internal reforms to curb the abuse of power and privileges that had begun under Akhenaten. This was due to the centralization of state power and privileges in the hands of a few officials. He appointed judges, restored local religious authorities, and divided legal authority between Upper and Lower Egypt, indicating that he had the vision of a true pharaoh. This raises further suspicion about his role in the assassination of the weak Tutankhamun, under whose reign Egypt's regional influence declined. However, none of these theories provide a conclusive answer. Over the centuries, many theories have been proposed in an attempt to explain the untimely demise of King Tut. Some scholars believe that he fell from his chariot during a hunting excursion, and sustained fatal others suggest that he might have been assassinated by a discontented courtier or suffered from a sudden deadly illness. A few researchers have proposed the theory of genetic disorders brought about by generations of royal inbreeding, yet others have pointed to potential complications arising from a broken leg, which might have led to a lethal infection. Despite the plethora of different theories, no evidence has been sufficiently compelling to provide us with the complete truth. The mystery of King Tut's death remains unsolved, leaving us to wonder about the circumstances that led to the end of this young pharaoh's life. While the precise cause of King Tut's death may never be known, the fascination surrounding his life and death continues. King Tut's immense wealth, showcased by the artifacts uncovered in his tomb, gives us a peek into his intriguing world. It reveals the opulence of his era and the sophistication of the ancient Egyptian civilization. The story of his life and death is filled with enigma, adding to the allure of his narrative. His tale, shrouded in enigma, remains enthralling, demonstrating that certain narratives truly timeless.